Imagine waking up to find a stranger at your gate, pointing at your home like it's already theirs, with a smug realtor ready to sell it out from under you. Your heart pounds, your blood boils. This is your sanctuary, your legacy, and they're trying to steal it. What would you do? Fight or fold? Stay tuned for an epic, true-inspired story of one man's battle against greed, fraud, and intimidation. Welcome to the Jones Life Stories, where we share tales of grit and triumph that'll inspire you to stand your ground. Your resolve is your greatest weapon. Let's dive in. Hey, everyone. Welcome to the Jones Life Stories. I'm your host, Alex Jones, and today, we've got a story that'll grip you from start to finish. This isn't just about a property dispute. It's about one man's unyielding spirit against a web of deceit, proving that no matter how big the threat, courage and smarts can win the day. If this kind of story fires you up, smash that like button, share it with someone who's faced their own battles, and hit subscribe to the Jones Life Stories for more tales that empower you to live boldly. Now let's get to it. It was a crisp autumn morning in rural Virginia, where the hills glowed with amber and gold leaves. Jack Harlan, a retired SWAT trainer in his late 50s, stood on the porch of his modest cabin, sipping black coffee. His 5-acre plot, a legacy from his father, was a sanctuary, a place of peace after years training sheriffs, deputies, and state police. His father's words echoed in his mind. This is your ground. Defend it like it's your last stand. Jack had done just that, pouring his heart into this land. But today, that peace was about to be shattered. Jack noticed a woman in her mid-50s, dressed in a floral blouse and khakis, standing at his gate. She was pointing at his cabin, talking to a realtor in a cheap suit who clutched a clipboard. "This is the one," she said, waving her hand like she owned the place. Prime location, secluded, perfect for development. The HOA has cleared it for sale. The realtor nodded, peering over the fence with a greedy grin. "We'll flip this in no time." Jack set his mug down, his brow furrowing. "Can I help you folks?" he called, his voice calm but edged with steel. The woman, let's call her Karen, didn't blink. She turned with a fake, tight-lipped smile. "Yes, you can start moving your stuff out. This property's on the market." Jack laughed, thinking it was a mix-up. His cabin wasn't part of the HOA's control. He owned it outright, free and clear. "Ma'am, this is my home. Been mine for years." Her smile didn't waver. "Not anymore. The HOA has decided to sell. We have buyers lined up." She pointed to a freshly planted "for sale" sign in his yard, listing her name as a community representative. Jack's grip tightened on his mug. "Interesting," he said slowly, "because last I checked, the HOA doesn't own my land." He stepped toward the gate, noticing a new lock, not his. She changed it. His blood ran hot, but he kept his cool. "You're trespassing, and that's my gate." Karen glanced at the realtor, who whispered something. She smirked. "Don't worry, he won't be here much longer." Jack pulled out his phone, ready to call the sheriff, but a better idea hit. He walked to his shed, returning with a heavy chain, a new lock, and a sign he'd kept for years. Before they could react, he chained the gate shut from his side, hanging a bright red sign. "Private property. Trespassers will be prosecuted." The realtor's smile faded. Karen's jaw tightened. "You can't do that," she snapped. Jack sipped his coffee. "Watch me." Karen's voice rose, sharp enough to scatter the birds. "You're obstructing an official sale. I'm calling security." She dialed her phone, glaring at Jack. The realtor stepped back, muttering, "Maybe we should rethink this." 2 minutes later, a dusty white SUV rolled up. 2 men in uniform stepped out, but Jack noticed no patches, no department names. One had a badge clipped to his belt, the kind you could buy online for $12.99. "Sir, open the gate," the taller one said. Jack smiled. "Show me the law that says you have the right to be here." Karen crossed her arms. "These are community enforcement officers. They have authority." Jack leaned closer, voice low. "Here's the thing. I trained real law enforcement, SWAT, deputies, state police. I know the rosters. You two aren't on them." The fake cops exchanged a glance. Karen jumped in. "You can't intimidate me with your stories." "It's not a story," Jack said, pulling out his phone. "It's a live call to the county sheriff. Leave now or explain why you're wearing fake badges on my property." Before they could respond, a low rumble approached, a county patrol truck, lights flashing red and blue. The real sheriff stepped out, broad-shouldered, mirrored sunglasses, exuding quiet authority. "Morning," he said, eyeing the group. "Someone want to tell me why I'm here?" Karen pounced. "This man's illegally occupying this property. He's blocking a sale and threatened my security team." The sheriff's eyes flicked to Jack. "That true?" Jack took a slow breath. "No, Sheriff. This is my land. She's trespassing, they're impersonating officers, and she changed my lock. I've got it all on video." He held up his phone. The sheriff turned to the fake cops. "Names! Badge numbers." They stammered, one giving a name Jack recognized as fake. He trained a man with that name years ago. The sheriff's jaw tightened. "Interesting." Karen, undeterred, pulled a folder from her bag. "I have the deed. It's all legal." She handed it to the sheriff, smirking. He scanned it, frowning. "Says the property transferred 2 weeks ago." Jack's stomach dropped, but he stayed calm. The signature wasn't his. A sloppy forgery. "That's not my handwriting," he said. "And I never signed anything." Karen shrugged. "County records show the transfer. We paid the taxes." "With whose money?" Jack asked. She didn't answer, avoiding his gaze. The realtor was now engrossed in his phone, clearly wanting no part of this. The sheriff rubbed his jaw. "If these papers are fake, that's felony fraud. I'll need to verify this." Karen pushed back. "Fine, but he needs to pack up and leave. The buyer's waiting." Jack stepped closer. "Not happening. 2 months ago, I installed a security system. Every car plate, every visitor, every delivery, all logged with timestamps. Backups off-site. If we check the footage, we'll see who filed those papers at the courthouse." Karen's smugness cracked. "You can't use that. It's a violation. It's my land, my camera is my evidence." Jack cut her off. The sheriff nodded. "We're going to the station to check those records. Now." As they spoke, a sleek black SUV rolled up, license plate covered, windows tinted. A tall man in a tailored suit stepped out, clean-cut, exuding control. Karen paled. "I didn't think you'd come in person," she stammered. The man, introducing himself as Mr. Steele from Marlowe and Steele Holdings, ignored her, locking eyes with Jack. "This doesn't need to get messy. We have paperwork. Let's settle this privately." The sheriff raised an eyebrow. "And you are?" Steele flashed a business card, no badge, just a Golden Boss logo. "I represent interests that want this property urgently." Jack's grip on the gate tightened. "Funny, because I don't recall selling it." Karen chimed in, her voice shaky. "Mr. Steele has connections. This is bigger than you. Move out, and you might get compensated." The sheriff's patience thinned. "Unless the HOA owns his deed, you have no authority to sell or change locks." He turned to Jack. "You got the original title?" Jack nodded. "Filed in '05. My father's name, transferred to me when he passed. Certified copy, safe and notarized." Karen scoffed, but her hands trembled. "Titles get updated. This one was." Jack leaned toward Steele. "Here's your problem. You bought a fake deed from someone who didn't own this place. When that comes out, it's you facing charges." The sheriff's radio crackled. "Dispatched to Unit 4. Courthouse security cam from 2 weeks ago shows a female, mid-50s, short blonde hair, floral blouse filing the transfer." All eyes turned to Karen. She froze. "That's not me. I wasn't there." The sheriff headed to his truck. "We'll see. If the footage matches, you're looking at fraud, impersonation, and unlawful lock change." Steele hissed at Karen. "You said this was clean. You said he was a squatter." Jack smirked. "Sorry to disappoint." The sheriff called to Jack. "Bring that title to the station. We'll sort this out." But as they moved to leave, Steele stepped away, muttering into his phone. Plan B. "Do it tonight." Jack's ears caught it. He pretended to adjust his jacket, listening as Steele added, "Make sure it's empty, then burn it." His blood ran cold. Karen avoided his gaze, confirming she knew the plan. Arson. Jack kept quiet, not tipping his hand. "I'll follow in my truck," he told the sheriff. Instead of heading to the station, he took a back trail through the woods, circling behind his cabin. From there, he could watch the road. 20 minutes later, a dark van pulled up. 2 men got out, gloved, one carrying a red gas can. They headed for the gate, expecting it to be open. When they found Jack's chain, one pulled out bolt cutters. Jack stepped from the shadows, racking his shotgun, not aimed, just loud. Private property. You're about 5 seconds from explaining that gasoline to the sheriff. One dropped the can. The other stammered. We're maintenance workers. Jack raised an eyebrow. Maintenance doesn't wear masks or sneak around at night. Smile, you're on 3 security feeds. The sheriff's patrol truck rolled up, lights flashing, blocking the van. He doubled back, suspicious of Steele's haste. Within minutes, the men were cuffed. Jack handed over his phone. Check the voice memo. You'll hear who sent them. By nightfall, Karen was arrested for fraud and trespassing. Steele was picked up for conspiracy to commit arson and property theft. Marlowe and Steele Holdings had been illegally flipping older properties, and Jack's was just one they couldn't steal quietly. The courthouse footage confirmed Karen's role in the forged deed, and Steele's phone records tied him to the arson plot. As Jack locked his gate that night, he hung a new sign. Protected land. Owner armed and recording. He thought of his father, the title he'd left, and the crooks who thought they could take it with fake papers and cheap threats. I didn't fight for this country to hand it over to thieves, he muttered, walking back to his cabin. His land, his rules, untouchable. And there you have it, folks. A story of one man standing tall against a storm of greed and lies. Jack Harlan didn't just save his home. He reminded us all that when you know your rights, stand your ground, and back it up with evidence, no one can take what's yours. Here at the Jones Life Stories, we believe your home, your dreams, your legacy, they're worth fighting for. So take a page from Jack's book. Stay vigilant, stay prepared, and never let anyone push you off your land. If this story inspired you, hit that like button, share it with someone who needs a boost, and subscribe to the Jones Life Stories for more tales of grit and victory. Until next time, keep defending what's yours and live life on your terms.